What brings me back to this city of slippery goblins, playful moons, and magical music, painted by dreams that feel like they only come once? Surely, I must have forgot something. I remember visiting a record store at St. Peter Street and not finding any Caravan records. Instead, the shopkeeper offered me the Soft Machine records. But to be honest, I like Caravan more than the Soft Machine, and I could explain why, but that's not the purpose of this video. Maybe people who are not familiar with English geography who think that Canterbury is just a name for a musical style, or maybe a place invented by a graphic designer for an album artwork. To those, I would like to tell that the Canterbury Scene was made by musicians from a city that actually exists in the south of England. This city is by a river called River Stour, but it's not the only River Stour in England. There's one in Worcestershire and one in Suffolk. There are more than 4 River Stour in England, but again, that's another topic. I didn't know about Syd Arthur until I got a comment from Malfoy was right on my Canterbury musical and tourist video. I wondered, who are these guys? I honestly thought they were just another tribute band doing covers at parties. But no, they are a real band with a known style. I mean, with original compositions, not covers at all. Be prepared to be convinced about why you should start listening to Syd Arthur. And if you already do not omit this message either. Reason 1. They are from Canterbury. Being from Canterbury makes Syd Arthur so special. This city is like a magical place for progressive rock fans. It's not just where Caravan, the Soft Machine, Sparrow or the very wild flowers came from, but also where a special kind of music was born. A mix of jazz, psychedelia, and classical influences with a playful, thrill-like feel. Syd Arthur didn't just embrace that style, they brought something new, adding indie rock and folk to the mix. So they appeal to younger audiences, while still keeping the complexity that all the rock fans love, so they can attract both young and senior audiences. Being from Canterbury connects them to a legendary musical history. They surely knew how to make the most of being from one of the most musical cities in England. Reason 2, they have a cool name. They're just cool, that's it. Their name, Syd Arthur, it's a mix of 2 famous names. Syd Barrett, the first singer of Pink Floyd, and Arthur Lee, the leader of the 60 band Love. Arthur Lee was a big influence on psychedelic rock with his band Love, which mixed folk, rock and orchestral music. By using these 2 rocking names, Syd Arthur connects to this tradition of making creative and mind-bending music. And their name isn't the only cool thing. They've played at a Glastonbury, one of the most famous music festivals, and have toured with bands like Jazz and Sean Lennon. They perform live with energy and skill, impressing both old rock fans and new listeners. Now, if you are more a Generation Z person and you don't like very old stuff, let me tell you that this band also played at the Coachella alongside Muse, Arcade Fire, and Beck. Reason 3. They look like musicians from the Canterbury Scene. They actually do. When you think of musicians from the Canterbury Scene, you probably think of long hair, relaxed clothes, and a calm attitude. Syd Arthur looks and feels the same way. Their frontman, Liam and Joel, even looks a bit like Richard Sinclair from Caravan, especially when they both close their eyes while singing. Actually, they resemble each other so much. Don't you think so? But it's more than just looks and appearances. They have that same quiet confidence that you see in the classic progressive rock stars. They aren't trying to show off, meet the audiences with ambitious solos or histrionic art. They come as they are. They're just there to play really good music. Their style brings you into that world of 70s rock, but with a modern twist. Reason 4. They sound like Jazz and other mind-blowing bands, but with their own flame, of course. Syd Arthur's music is a mix of the complex sounds of jazz, the folk feel of Joel Martin, and the jazz energy of the Mahavishnu Orchestra. The songs are full of twists and turns, different time signatures, and rich harmonies. Each album is unique, so there is always something new to hear. But again, if you are more about fresher things, You don't have to only keep listening Porcupine Tree, Elbeth or Dream Theater when you already have a Syd Arthur to be part of your favorite playlist. That's why you have 4 fresh albums to consume, and they are Syd Arthur, released on 2006, On and On, released on 2012, Sound Mirror, released in 2014, and Apricity, the last one, released in 2016. Listening to them, it's like being in the past and the present at the same time. Speaking about the songs, First Difference feels like a jazz or the Mahavishnu Orchestra song with that high energy. All and Everything is another example of pure rock. Dorothy, songs like John Martin or even Van Morrison's Moondance. Their album, On and On, is the one that feels the most like the Canterbury Scene music, with harmonies and rhythms that remind you of the best progressive rock. And Apricity, their latest album, has a more modern sound, perfect for prog rock fans who want something fresh. Reason 5. They're complex but easy to enjoy. Not everyone likes to think about music theory, and that's fine. But if you do, Syd Arthur's music is full of interesting harmonies, complex rhythms, and layered sounds. Take Dorothy, for example. It uses chords like those in jazz, but mixes them with folk rock to create something new. Even if you don't understand the theory behind music, the same just sounds good. Their songs have a richness that makes you want to listen to them again and again. You may not know why their albums make you feel something special, but it's music that connects with both your emotions and your mind. Sadly, the band hasn't released new music in recent years. Their last album, Apricity, came out in 2016, and they've been on a break due to their drummer, Fred Rother, experienced some health problems. It's a loss for the music world, but it makes their albums even more valuable, like hidden treasures for prog rock fans to discover. Syd Arthur probably is not a mainstream rock band, but they deserve more than one song to be planted in your ears. Right, I hope I've convinced you. Syd Arthur won't be the first band I'll be trying to convince to listen to. Many more coming. So subscribe and keep an eye on my content, connecting music with places and speaking about the thing we all probably love, music. See you in a bit.